When 12-year-old Sophia Carter arrives at her late parents' charity gala, CEO Marcus Sterling assumes she's a maid's child who crashed the event. He throws her documents across the floor, tosses $500 at her face, and forces her to crawl on her knees while hundreds watch and record. What Marcus doesn't know: Sophia owns 87% of his company, and he's been embezzling millions. In one viral night, this grieving orphan will teach a powerful man that underestimating someone can cost you everything. Hey family, welcome to Real Life Heart Stories. Please subscribe and give this video a like. It truly means the world to us. Don't forget to share it with your friends and loved ones, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a new upload. Thank you so much for the support. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive into today's story. Marcus Sterling grabbed the folder from Sophia's hands and threw it across the marble floor. Papers exploded everywhere. Death certificates scattered. Stock ownership documents slid across the polished surface. Her mother's photograph stopped at someone's designer shoe. "Please," Sophia whispered. She dropped to her knees. Her hands shook as she reached for the papers. "Those are my parents." "Your parents?" Marcus laughed loud enough for everyone to hear. He was tall, 47 years old, and his gold Rolex caught the chandelier light. "Sweetheart, did someone's maid bring her kid to work?" Sophia looked up at him. Tears streamed down her 12-year-old face. "Sir, I'm Sophia Carter. I own this company." The Grand Meridian Hotel lobby fell silent. 50 people turned to stare. Marcus pulled out his wallet. He counted $500 bills slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He crumpled them into a tight ball. Then he threw the money at Sophia's face. It bounced off her forehead. "There's your tip," Marcus said. "Now pick it up like a good girl and get out before I call security." His wife Jennifer stood beside him in a gown that cost $15,000. She covered her mouth, but Sophia could see her smiling. "Get this little rat out of my event," Marcus said louder. Sophia's hands trembled. She gathered her mother's photo first, holding it against her chest. She was wearing a navy dress her mother had bought her last year. White flats that pinched her toes. "Look at this," Marcus said to the crowd. 20 people pulled out their phones. "Already where she belongs. On the floor with the trash." Someone laughed. Then another. Soon half the crowd was chuckling. "Sir, I really am Sophia Carter," she said quietly. "You own nothing," Marcus said. He bent down and snatched the death certificates from her hands. "Oh, this is precious." She printed fake documents. "Those are real. My parents died 6 months ago." Marcus's voice went high and mocking. "Honey, Richard and Catherine Carter were successful people. You really think their daughter would be crawling on the floor like a dog?" He crumpled the death certificates and threw them back at her face. Phones were everywhere now. Someone was live streaming. Comments started rolling. "What's happening? Is that a child? Why is she crying?" Marcus saw the cameras and smiled wider. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you let standards slip. This child walks into our event and expects us to believe she owns a $5 billion company. If you've ever been underestimated because of how you look, keep watching. What happens next will shock you. Hit that like button right now." Sophia gathered the crumpled death certificates. She smoothed them out carefully. Her whole body shook. Across the lobby, 50 feet away, 2 people watched. Grace Williams, a black woman in her 50s, started to move forward. Thomas Anderson, a distinguished black man in his 60s, grabbed her arm. "Not yet," he whispered. Grace's hands clenched into fists. "That child is on her knees." "I know, but timing matters. Trust me." Marcus finished his scotch. He handed the empty glass to Sophia. "Here, take this to the bar." Sophia stared at the glass. "I said take it," Marcus repeated. "No." The word came out small but clear. Marcus's smile vanished. "What did you say to me?" Sophia stood up. Papers clutched to her chest. "I said no. I'm not your servant." Marcus stepped closer. He used his height to intimidate her. "Security." Get this lying little thief out of here. 2 security guards appeared. The lead guard looked uncomfortable. Mr. Sterling, maybe we should verify her story, the guard said. Did I ask for your opinion? Remove her now or you're both fired. The guard reached for Sophia's arm. She jerked away. Don't touch me, she said. Her voice went high. Panicked. The live stream hit 15,000 viewers. Marcus pulled out his phone. Yes, this is Marcus Sterling, CEO of Carter Industries. I'm at the Grand Meridian Hotel. We have a trespasser. A child, yes. Black female, approximately 12 years old. She claims to own my company. Clearly disturbed. He hung up and smiled at Sophia. Police are coming, sweetheart. Hope you enjoy juvenile detention. Sophia's legs gave out. She sat down hard on the marble floor. That's what I thought, Marcus said. All bark, no bite. Jennifer laughed. Someone should really teach these people their place. 7 hours earlier, Sophia had woken up alone. The Carter estate was too quiet now. Too empty. She reached for the photograph on her nightstand. Her parents smiled back from Disneyland. She was 11 in that picture. 4 days before the plane crash, Grace Williams came through the bedroom door with a breakfast tray. Morning, baby. How'd you sleep? Bad dreams, Sophia said. The plane again. Grace sat on the bed. That's normal, sweetheart. Grief doesn't follow rules. The doorbell rang downstairs. That'll be Mr. Anderson, Grace said. Time for the meeting. They went down to the kitchen. Thomas Anderson was already sitting at the table with his briefcase open. Good morning, Sophia, he said. We need to review some important paperwork today. Sophia sat down. Her feet didn't reach the floor. Tell me what you inherited, Thomas said. In your own words. Sophia took a breath. 87% of Carter Industries. $4.3 billion. And who runs the company daily? The board. Until I'm 18. But I have final say on big decisions. What kind of decisions? Anything over $10 million. Hiring. Firing. Selling major assets. Thomas pulled out another paper. Sophia, there's something you need to know. The board appointed a new CEO 5 months ago. His name is Marcus Sterling. Sophia frowned. I never met him. He never visited after your parents died. He sent flowers, though. Grace leaned forward. Tell her the rest, Thomas. Thomas's jaw tightened. Your father was planning to fire Marcus Sterling. I found your father's private notes last week. Marcus has been moving money strangely. Your father was building a case. The room went cold. Is he stealing from me? Sophia asked. I'm investigating. But here's what you need to understand. You can fire him anytime. You own 87%. You have final authority. Does he know that? Thomas almost smiled. He has no idea. He thinks the board controls everything. He thinks he's safe for 6 years. Grace squeezed Sophia's hand. There's a gala tonight. Your parents' annual charity event. You don't have to go. Sophia looked at her parents' photo. They never missed it. No, they didn't. They loved that event. It raised millions for orphan children. Orphaned like Sophia. I want to go, she said quietly. Thomas nodded. We'll introduce you to the board officially. Will Marcus Sterling be there? Yes. Will he be nice? The adults looked at each other. Grace pulled Sophia close. Sweetheart, some people won't be nice because you're young. Because you're black. But that doesn't matter. You know who you are. I'm just a kid. You're a child, Grace said. But you're a $4.3 billion child. Big difference. The limousine arrived at 6:30 that evening. Black and sleek. Sophia climbed in with Grace on one side and Thomas on the other. The folder sat on her lap. Documents. Certificates. Proof. You okay? Grace asked. Scared. Good. That means you understand what's ahead. The car pulled onto the highway toward Manhattan. Sophia pressed her face to the window. City lights appeared in the distance. What if he's mean to me? Sophia asked. Thomas looked at her. Then you remember who you are. Sophia Carter. Your parents built an empire. It's yours now. What if I cry? Then you cry, Grace said. You're 12. You're allowed to have feelings. But crying doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. The car drove through the darkening evening. Somewhere ahead, Marcus Sterling was getting ready. Expensive tuxedo, gold Rolex, smiling at his reflection. He had no idea what was coming. The limousine pulled up to the Grand Meridian Hotel at 7 o'clock sharp. Valets rushed forward. Red carpet stretched from the curb to the entrance. Photographers lined both sides. Flashes popped constantly. Sophia watched through the tinted windows. Her stomach twisted. Ready? Grace asked. No. Good answer, Thomas smiled. Honesty is important. The door opened. Cool air rushed in. Sophia stepped out onto the red carpet. Navy dress, white flats, folder clutched tight. The photographers ignored her completely. Just a child. Nobody important. She walked between Grace and Thomas. 3 people invisible to the glamorous crowd. Inside, the lobby took her breath away. Marble floors reflected the crystal chandeliers. Gold trim everywhere. Rich people filled every corner. Diamonds. Designer gowns. Tuxedos worth more than cars. Sophia felt small. The registration table stood near the elevators. A blonde woman in her 30s sat behind it. Name, please? She asked without looking up. Sophia Carter. The woman's pen stopped. She looked up. Confusion crossed her face. I'm sorry, sweetie. I don't see any children on the guest list. I'm not a guest. I'm the owner's. Is there a problem? A man's voice cut through the air. Deep, confident, entitled. Sophia turned. Marcus Sterling stood 10 feet away. 6'2" at least. His tuxedo probably cost $10,000. Gold Rolex caught the light. His wife stood beside him, dripping in diamonds. 5 other wealthy men clustered around them. Marcus walked closer. Drink in his hand. He looked down at Sophia. His eyes swept over her. Dismissed her in half a second. That's when everything went wrong. Comment below if you think what Marcus did next crossed the line. Because this is where the story gets intense. Grace cut through the crowd like a blade. People stumbled out of her way. She reached Sophia in seconds and dropped to her knees. She pulled the girl into her arms. Baby, I'm here. Sophia sobbed into her shoulder. Marcus looked down, annoyed. And who are you? The nanny? Grace's head snapped up. Her eyes blazed. I'm her legal guardian. Grace Williams, attorney at law. An attorney? Marcus laughed. With a strip mall office? Harvard Law, 1995. Corporate litigation. You just assaulted my client. I didn't touch her. You threw documents at a minor. Verbal abuse. Hostile environment. 50 witnesses. Grace pointed at the phones. And 20,000 livestream viewers. Marcus's smile cracked. 20,000? He glanced at someone's phone screen. The numbers were climbing. 25,000. 30,000. 40,000. Comments exploded. Sue him. Call the news. That poor baby. Marcus cleared his throat. I was protecting my company from fraud. Fraud. Grace stood up, pulling Sophia with her. You want to discuss fraud, Mr. Sterling? I don't know who you think. I'm holding evidence of your embezzlement. We can discuss it here in front of everyone, or wait for the police you just called. Marcus's face went white. The crowd fell completely silent. Jennifer grabbed his arm. Marcus, what is she talking about? Nothing. She's bluffing. Am I? Grace pulled out her phone. Offshore account. Cayman Islands. Open March 15th. 5 days after Richard and Catherine Carter died. Initial deposit $2 million from Carter Industries. Marcus's mouth opened. Nothing came out. Grace continued. Shell Company in Delaware. Sterling Consulting LLC. $12 million in contracts. Services never rendered. Payments all approved by you. That's confidential. You can't. I can when it's stolen from an orphan. Grace's voice cut like glass. From a 12-year-old whose parents weren't even buried yet. The crowd gasped. Phones were everywhere. The live stream hit 60,000 viewers. Marcus backed up a step. You can't prove any of that. I'm an attorney. I don't make unprovable claims. Thomas Anderson stepped forward. He moved through the crowd to stand beside Grace. Hello, Marcus. Marcus's face turned gray. Thomas. 5 months since you became CEO. Quite a promotion. I earned that position. Did you? Thomas opened his briefcase. He pulled out a thick folder. Richard Carter's notes say differently. Richard is dead, Marcus said. His voice was cold. Conveniently, Thomas said. He was investigating you. Financial irregularities. He had an FBI meeting scheduled for the week after he died. The lobby turned ice cold. 80 people stared. This is slander, Marcus said. I'll sue. Please do, Grace said. Discovery will be fascinating. Every account, every transaction, every email. Jennifer pulled away from Marcus. She stepped back. Marcus, you stole from a dead man's child? It's not. I can explain. Then explain, Thomas said. He moved closer. 15 million in shell companies, forged contracts, offshore accounts. Marcus's breathing got faster. Sweat appeared on his forehead. The company needed capital. Richard would have approved. Richard was firing you. Thomas showed him handwritten notes. Richard's handwriting. Marcus embezzling. Call FBI. Protect Sophia. Sophia looked up. She saw her father's handwriting. Fresh tears came. But these were different. Not shame. Relief. Marcus saw the note. He recognized it. His legs wobbled. That could be fake. Authenticated by 3 experts, Thomas said. The FBI has copies. The FBI? The words echoed through the lobby. People backed away from Marcus like he was toxic. Jennifer turned to the crowd. I had no idea. We're separated. We are not. Marcus grabbed for her. She slapped his hand away. Don't touch me. I want a lawyer. You're my wife. Not for long. She pushed through the crowd. Her heels clicked on the marble. She was gone. Marcus stood alone. 90 people watched. His world was ending in real time. The security guard stepped forward. Mr. Sterling, should I still remove the child? Yes. No. Marcus's voice cracked. The police are coming. I called them. Thomas smiled. Ironic, isn't it? Sophia stood up. Grace helped her. Her face was puffy, but her voice was clear. Mr. Anderson, what are my rights as majority shareholder? Her voice carried through the silent lobby. Thomas turned. He spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. As owner of 87%, you have ultimate authority. Can I fire the CEO? Anyone, anytime, any reason. What if he stole money? You press charges. Sue for every dollar. Plus interest. Sophia looked at Marcus. 12 years old, facing 47. I want him arrested. The doors opened. 2 police officers walked in. A Latina woman led. Her partner was a young black man. Who called about a trespasser? The officer asked. Marcus's hand rose halfway, then froze. Everyone was staring at him. The officer walked over. You called? Yes. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. What kind of misunderstanding? Grace stepped forward. Officer, I'm Grace Williams, attorney. This man assaulted my client. She's 12 years old. Verbal abuse. He threw documents at her. Caused severe emotional distress. The officer looked at Sophia. Tears. Red eyes. Papers scattered everywhere. Is this true, sweetheart? Sophia nodded. The officer's face hardened. She turned to Marcus. ID, please. I'm Marcus Sterling, CEO of Carter Industries. This has all been a terrible mistake. ID? Now. Marcus fumbled for his wallet. His hands shook. He pulled out his license. The officer examined it. She handed it to her partner. Run him. Why? I'm the victim here. You called about a child. She's crying on the floor. You're sweating. Doesn't add up. The partner walked away. He spoke into his radio. Thomas handed the officer his card. "Officer, I'm Thomas Anderson, estate attorney for the Carter family. Let me explain. This is Sophia Carter. She owns 87% of Carter Industries, worth $4.3 billion. The officer's eyebrows rose. She looked at Sophia, back at Thomas. "This girl owns billions?" "Yes." Thomas handed over documents. Death certificates, court papers, stock certificates, all notarized. The officer read them. Her expression changed from skeptical to shocked to angry. She looked at Marcus. "You called the police on a child who owns your company?" "I didn't know. I just assumed." "You didn't ask. You just assumed." The live stream hit 120,000 viewers. The partner returned. "Ma'am," he's flagged. "Federal investigation for financial crimes. FBI wants him brought in." The officer nodded. She pulled out handcuffs. "Mr. Sterling, you need to come with us." Marcus's knees buckled. He grabbed a marble column. "This is insane. I have rights." "Yes, you do. I'm reading them now. Turn around." "I will not. Turn around or I add resisting arrest." Marcus looked around the lobby. Phones, cameras, live streams. No help anywhere. He turned around. The officer cuffed him. The metal clicked loud in the silent lobby. "Marcus Sterling, you're being detained for questioning regarding embezzlement, fraud, and financial crimes. You have the right to remain silent." Marcus started crying. "Please, I have a family, employees. It was just one mistake." "Several mistakes," the officer said. She started walking him toward the door. Marcus looked back at Sophia. "I'm sorry. I didn't know. If I'd known who you were." Sophia's voice cut through the lobby, clear and strong. "You'd be nice because I'm rich. But what if I was nobody? What if I really was a maid's kid? Would I deserve that?" Marcus had no answer. "You're not sorry for what you did," Sophia said. "You're sorry you got caught." The officer pushed him forward. "Let's go." The crowd parted. Marcus walked through them, handcuffs glinting. In 30 minutes, his entire life had been destroyed. The doors closed behind him. Subscribe right now if you believe in justice, because this story is far from over. The microphone felt heavy in Sophia's small hands. Dr. Patricia Morrison approached. She was 62 years old, white, with kind eyes. The board chairperson. "Sophia." Her voice was soft. "Is that really you?" Sophia nodded. "Yes, Dr. Morrison." "Oh my God." Patricia's composure cracked. "Oh, sweetheart. I'm so sorry." She knelt down to eye level with Sophia. "We should have protected you better. We should have told Marcus you might attend. We failed you." Patricia stood. She turned to the crowd. Her voice boomed. "Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your complete attention?" The lobby went silent. 200 people watched. "I am Dr. Patricia Morrison, chairperson of the Carter Industries Board of Directors. This is Miss Sophia Carter, daughter of our beloved founders, Richard and Catherine Carter." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Following their tragic deaths 6 months ago, Sophia inherited 87% of Carter Industries, making her the majority stakeholder and ultimate authority of this company. Gasps. Whispers. "She is 12 years old. She is brilliant. She is brave. And tonight she was humiliated by a man we trusted." Patricia's voice hardened. "Marcus Sterling is no longer CEO of Carter Industries. Effective immediately, he has been terminated for cause. Financial crimes, embezzlement, abuse of authority." The crowd erupted. Questions shouted. Cameras flashing. Patricia raised her hand. Silence returned. "The board will conduct a full investigation. We will recover every stolen dollar. We will rebuild trust." She looked down at Sophia. "Miss Carter, would you like to say anything?" Sophia looked at the microphone, at the faces, at the cameras. Her voice came out small at first. "My parents loved this company. They built it with honesty and hard work." She paused, swallowed. "Mr. Sterling forgot that. He thought he could steal from me because I'm young, because I'm black, because I'm powerless." Her voice grew stronger. "He was wrong. She looked directly at the nearest camera. I'm not powerless, and neither is anyone else who looks like me, who's young like me, who's been treated like they don't matter. She paused. We all matter. We all deserve respect, and we all have the right to fight back. The lobby exploded in applause. Thunderous, genuine. People were crying, clapping, cheering. Sophia handed the microphone back. Suddenly shy, Grace pulled her close. Perfect, baby, just perfect. Thomas smiled. Your parents would be incredibly proud. The live stream hit 200,000 viewers. News reporters rushed forward, questions flying. Sophia, how do you feel? Will you press charges? What's next for Carter Industries? Thomas stepped forward. He shielded Sophia. Miss Carter will not be taking questions tonight. She's been through enough. Patricia added, the board will release an official statement tomorrow. For now, please respect this child's privacy. Security guards formed a protective circle. They gently moved reporters back. Grace led Sophia toward the elevators. Thomas walked on her other side. As they moved through the crowd, people reached out. They touched Sophia's shoulder, whispered support. You're brave. Thank you. You inspire me. Sophia managed small smiles, but she was fading fast. The elevator doors closed. Finally quiet. Sophia collapsed against the wall. Her legs shook. Can we go home now? Yes, baby, Grace said. We're going home. 3 months later, Marcus Sterling was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. The FBI found evidence of $18.7 million stolen. His wife filed for divorce the day after his arrest. Sophia established the Richard and Catherine Carter Foundation with $50 million. Its mission was to protect orphan children from exploitation. In the first year, they helped 2,000 kids. 1 year after that night at the hotel, Sophia stood in her father's office. Now it was hers. She was 13 now, taller, stronger, different. A knock on the door. Grace entered. Board meeting in 5 minutes. Coming. The conference room was full. 12 board members. Diverse. Brilliant. Patricia Morrison smiled. Revenue is up 42%. Sophia nodded. What about the foundation? Dr. Thompson spoke. 2,000 children served. 50 exploitation cases prevented. 50 kids saved. After the meeting, Sophia sat at her desk. She pulled out her phone. Opened the camera. Hi, I'm Sophia Carter. 1 year ago, a man looked at me and saw nothing. She stared into the lens. He was wrong. Her voice strengthened. If you're a kid who's been told you don't matter, that you're too young, too small, too different, listen. You have power. Right now. Not someday. Your voice matters. Your truth matters. You matter. She paused. And if you're an adult watching, if you see a child being disrespected, dismissed, hurt, do something. Not tomorrow. Right now. Don't just watch. Don't just record. Intervene. Her eyes were fierce. 1 year ago, people watched a grown man humiliate a 12-year-old. Some laughed. Some recorded. Some did nothing. Only 2 people stepped in. Grace and Thomas. 2 people changed everything. She held up a card with information. You could be those 2 people for someone else. She leaned closer. Marcus Sterling thought he destroyed me. Instead, he created me. He wanted to prove I was nothing. He proved I was everything. Small smile. Thank you for watching. Now go be someone's hero. She ended the video. Posted it. Grace appeared in the doorway. Ready to go home? Yeah. What's for dinner? Spaghetti. Perfect. They rode the elevator down. Walked to the car. Sophia looked back at the building. Tomorrow would bring more work. More meetings. More responsibility. But tonight she was just 13. Homework. TV. Normal life. She climbed into the car. You know what, Grace? What, baby? I'm happy. First time since they died. Grace's eyes filled with tears. Your parents would love that. I think so too. The car pulled into traffic. Sophia leaned against the window, watched the city lights blur past. She thought about Marcus. Prison. Life destroyed. She felt nothing about him now. He was a lesson, a warning, a story, but not her story anymore. She was writing a new one, about a girl who fell and got back up, about a child who found her voice, about someone who refused to stay broken. The car drove through the night. Behind them, Manhattan glowed. Millions of lights, millions of people, millions of stories. Sophia's was just one, but maybe it would inspire others. Kids who felt small, adults who could help, a world that needed changing. One person at a time, one stand at a time, one voice at a time. Have you ever been underestimated? Have you ever underestimated someone else? What will you do about it? Like this video if you believe everyone deserves respect. Comment below what you would have done in Sophia's position. Share the story with someone who needs to hear it. And remember this, 500 people watched Marcus throw money at Sophia's face. Know how many stepped in? 2. Grace and Thomas. That's it. If that happened in front of you tomorrow, what would you do? The person you underestimate today might change the world tomorrow. Never judge by appearance. You don't know what someone's carrying inside. We've come to the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more interesting stories.